I have to apologize to you because I made a mistake and I failed. Last week I failed one of you. I failed a UTI.
Roll the intro.
Hello? No, I know. No, don't worry about it. Season 4 starts right now.
Let's go!
Welcome back to
Hi, guys.
Under the Influence, a Christian influence podcast.
Why are you looking at me?
Oh, I'm just looking at you for no reason at all. Hello. We're back with episode 3. And I don't know how we usually, I don't know.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I know.
You guys seem to have planned something to throw me off.
Yeah, but it ended up throwing all of the rest of us off more.
Because now, I don't know where we go from I don't know what we're going to do. Wow. Man, I want to throw up right now. Did you guys talk about that before you got here?
Oh my gosh.
Was that true, Byron?
Yes, that's true.
It's true.
100%
You're a
true.
monster. Oh my goodness. And Chris knew about this?
I told Chris that there was something going to happen. He didn't know what it
my
was.
Goodness. Sorry, I said your name. PUBG. PUBG knew about this?
Yeah.
PUBG?
PUBG? You mean
Shibbles.
Shibbles?
Pub shibbles.
I've got you all messed up.
Yeah. There's a hair in here. Some dog hair. Oh, I've got dog hair all over me.
Oh, no.
That's weird.
It's the end of the world.
Yeah. Welcome back to Under the Influence. Season 4, episode 3.
Episode 3.
Right before we started this, Byron delivered some major anatomical news about school, or things he's done at school, and it really shocked me.
It's very shocking.
It's very shocking.
You don't want to know about it.
You can't know,
Yeah.
frankly.
HIPAA. No, not HIPAA.
No, not
don't
HIPAA.
do that.
He broke
Hold
HIPAA
on.
violation.
Hold on.
No,
let me
that would
clarify.
be bad.
No HIPAA. I did not break any
was not
HIPAA
HIPAA.
violations at all.
No, it has nothing to do with HIPAA. Hippos, maybe.
More hippos.
Technically, it's
like
closer
that.
to hippos. I don't like.
I don't like that.
I don't like.
I don't like
referencing
that. Can we
hippos.
retake? No, let's just continue.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody.
Yeah. We're here.
That's a great way to start the show. We're very glad that you are here with us to enjoy conversation, and hopefully conversation that is unifying and glorifying, unifying to us and glorifying to God. So, back by
Popular
All right.
demand.
Well,
Oh, yes.
I was going to say back by popular demand, but if you're enjoying this podcast on Spotify and you'd like a way to communicate with us or be a part of the community, go to discord.gg/Christian Influence. You can join the community there. That community is a ministry really that started things like this podcast and a whole bunch of other things. But you can communicate with us there. Also, if you don't mind and you're listening to just the audio on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, things like that, leave us a review, preferably 5 stars if you enjoy the show, because that really helps us out a lot. It helps new people find the show. It helps the show become more actually organically searchable. Mm-hmm. Like some podcast platforms, if you just go to search and type in Under the Influence or Christian Influence, it doesn't come up as high up there for people to find. But ratings, huge way for that to be more effective. Also, if you're watching the video, well, you're watching the whole podcast. You know, if you're listening on audio, we greatly appreciate you. That's how this podcast started, but it's become so much more. And there's going to often be things where we're looking at something or showing something. And it may be more fun to watch the video because you get our reactions, but also sometimes the content of the show is in its fullness and complete with the video experience. So
Cater toward the video.
yeah. We're trying to do our best to make it so that, what are we describing what we're seeing? Or if it's a video, you get to hear it still. But it's not perfect. So if you want to watch it, it's better. But if you can't, that's fine too. Listen to it on your way to work or whatever. And we love you guys just as much. So if you are watching on YouTube, though, leave us a comment.
Or you can watch YouTube while you're driving on your way to work.
You could.
You could.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Probably not recommended. We do not endorse driving and watching videos.
Yeah, or YouTube. We don't endorse YouTube either.
Oh,
No, I mean, we're using it.
we're using you too.
I certainly don't endorse a lot of the decisions they make for creators, but
it's
which
it's
you know,
rough out there.
technically we now are.
Oh man,
That's weird.
Yeah,
Being YouTube
creators.
Burr, 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 burr.
So now, back by popular demand.
Yep.
This is something we used to do on the show quite a while ago, and we just kind of, I think season 3 killed it. Maybe partway, like almost to the end of season 2, we didn't do it as much. We kind of replaced it with the cold open, which was fun. Dude, sidetrack. I was just thinking about those this week, like the one where we had Mia on the show. And I edited in like all this stuff because the one where Mia, were you on that
I was
episode?
not on that episode.
So the cold open for that episode was like,
I don't remember what preceded it. I just remember that it came up that my back is incredibly hairy.
Yeah.
And then they were shaving my back,
yeah, I don't remember why,
holding me down.
but it was
I can't remember
Jude
how
was
we
like,
got there.
yeah, and yeah, it was wild. The original one was to be that somehow Levi had been turned into a woman. It was
Yeah.
Jude's original joke was like
That was the original thing.
Kazam, and then Levi was like, guys, but it was Mia,
And then it was
saying
gonna be
something.
Mia's
But we
voice.
cut that one. This can get cut later if we need it to. You know, Chris or Tim or whatever. Yeah, it's
Or
gonna get cut.
Shibbles, yeah.
Are we recording on the Roadcaster too right now? Okay, cool. I didn't even bring it up early. See, I'm sorry. That's it. You know what? That's an insult to your intelligence, Shibley. And it shouldn't have been. I shouldn't have said it. You know what you're doing, and
Shibs is good.
yeah,
He's
you
got
know what
this.
you're doing.
Shibs is running the ship.
See, I have a problem.
Very
I'm so often in charge of things, and then it's hard for me to imagine myself
go of
not.
power?
But I'm okay with it in most cases. Lately, I've been like, it's like if it's a thing where I feel a lot of agency over it, then it's hard for me not to be. But lately, I've been going to these monthly like ministry support meetings with a bunch of similar ministries, and it's just one of the greatest things about going to those things is I'm just not running it, and I just get to sit there and be part of it. Oh, it's so nice. No, I was just saying the cold opens were just fun, man.
They were. There's a little bit less now that we're on video.
Yeah.
I don't think we did any on video, did we?
We didn't do any on video.
Because it's like harder to.
I mean, there was a outro like little video skit that we did with when we were all Greeks.
Yeah.
We did.
I had to leave.
I mean,
I
for
had
Byron.
to go
Because he came back and he was like,
That's right.
They had men inside
the horse.
T Roy. Yeah.
T Roy was out front, and I had to go take care of them.
Yeah. T Roy.
They had a horse.
A horse. I don't even know if that made it into the episode though.
Really?
Wait, did we not put it into the episode? I remember recording
because we recorded it portrait.
Oh.
And so it might have, but I remember them Tim being like, dude, it's portrait, or somebody saying that, and you'd already left, and I was like, oh, what was I thinking?
Eh.
It
That's
might
funny.
be. We'll have to check.
I don't know.
No, those were fun. I guess we've kind of done one like the intro. I mean, it's the intro video though, but it's a skit.
Yeah,
you
it's a
know?
skit.
But those cold opens when it was audio only just had something so special.
because you could imagine and like talk about whatever you want.
Marsupial
like
pouch.
Byron being inside my marsupial pouch.
or Jude holding us hostage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
FBI
shootout. Yeah. That was,
Like those things are just fun.
yeah.
So, side tangent really fast. For 10 seconds, you actually have a marsupial pouch, and so does Jerry, and so do I.
Okay, don't tell people.
Just letting you know. Everyone does.
Yeah. We can,
What, our stomach?
No.
our belly buttons.
No. There's a piece of fascia that goes in front of the rectus abdominis, and it actually opens like a pouch
Ew.
underneath your skin.
So I just have to cut my
Gross.
skin open and
Yeah.
my
Rectus.
marsupial pouch will be visible.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Incredible.
But what goes in there? What's it for?
It just holds the rectus abdominis to
okay.
the front side of the.
But does it have
So
like
it's
a
like
opening on
it's like a
top?
jacket jacket pocket.
Yeah, it's like an inner jacket pocket
that you would
down
slide your
below.
wallet in.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's down. It's down by
Your butt?
no pubic symphysis, which is the front part of your hips. The bones that go around, they go around to the pubic symphysis. It's right in the center.
no, but like, so
just
we could just
superior
like
to
cut, stuff something in, sew it back up.
I
and
could
it's in a
store my
little
wallet
pouch.
there. Well, no,
So-
something's being
so
stored there already.
Theoretically, yes. Painfully, no.
I mean, obviously.
And there's also blood supplies there, and there's a whole bunch of other things. You couldn't do it. But there is a piece of fascia that sits like this, and then your rectus abdominis goes behind it, and then this just holds the rectus abdominis.
Interesting.
And rectus abdominis is your six-pack, by the way. if you didn't know.
Where did the word rectus is?
Rectus
Yeah.
abdominis.
I don't like it.
But abdominis,
Abdominis is stomach and rectus is to
constrict.
constrict.
I guessed.
So I believe
Makes sense.
I believe I'm not Latin. I don't understand Latin.
You're not Latin.
You're not
Latin.
Latin.
But he is Latina. So
But he is
Whoa.
Latina. Anyway, so
Back by popular demand. The hypothetical segment. That was the whole point. We had fun. It kind of got replaced by the cold opens a little bit, and then the cold opens
Yep.
went away, and then it was just nothing. And back by quite literally popular demand. Everybody's been asking.
Everybody?
No,
Everybody's been
like
asking?
2 people. But they told me with a lot of emphasis that they really liked it. And so here we go. So I have a hypothetical that I researched for the 2 of you.
Okay.
I did a little bit of research last night and found like 10, and most of them were garbage. Dude, looking for hypotheticals online, I'm going to tell you, the listener and the watcher, this is why we got rid of them. Also,
Yeah.
it was like, it's fun to retire things sometimes and not always do the same thing. But one of the primary reasons we got rid of it was just because they're so hard to find.
yeah, we like
Good
that's why we stopped doing it. Because like I remember, like we would be like, all right, we need a hypothetical. So we all are just like searching
For an
things.
hour.
and
Like,
there's just nothing good.
It's hard to find good ones.
It's all like stupid.
It's all, if you could be a superhero or have a superpower, what would it be? That one comes up worded 10 different ways, 10 times. Like,
and
It's gross.
and a bunch of them aren't even that, but they're the same kind of thing. Like, if you could have anything right now, what would it be? If you had $1 million, what would you do with it? It's like, those are just boring. But so it's fun to
or
find.
it's like, would you stay at this place for $1 million for this in length of time?
Yes. Or like time travel. Those ones
Or-
are all
yeah,
the same.
yeah.
What we need is that game called Mind Trap. Do you remember Cyrus?
Yes.
Mind trap.
We used to.
Oh yeah, it was at the school too.
Yeah. Mr. Garvey would have us play that.
Mind Trap is like such an old youth group kind of game, but they're literally just like difficult questions to answer on cards. But here's the one I found for today. I hope this works. How do you visualize the way you count numbers? Or do you visualize them at all? Now, this kind of gets into a greater conversation about, well, I don't know if the conversation is great, but a bigger conversation about like, which you guys bring up all the time, how certain people can't visualize things, right? Or we were just talking about Chris and, dang it, kill me. Shibs and Levi were just talking about how like certain people visualize things, certain people don't visualize things. So yeah, how do you visualize, if at all, the way you count numbers?
So, do you mean like how I visualize numbers in entirely, or like the way that I count from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Take your pick. I guess like I saw this on Reddit, and the person that said it, which I don't use Reddit, so don't think I use Reddit, please. But I just Googled and Reddit came up. The Reddit thing said that question and then said, for example, I view them this way. And he said he sees numbers like a block of 1 to 100 in rows of 10. So 10 rows.
So he's like the
and then
multiplication
he
table.
counts them. Like when he's like, I need to count to 100, he's like, I see 1 through 100 as a square block in rows of 10. And then he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Wow.
And then other people see it this way or that way. Like,
I mean, I view numbers whenever I'm looking at numbers because base 10 is so like intrinsically like a part of numbers and mathematics and everything. Whenever I look at a number, I see how it can be broken up into 10. Like whenever I think of 3, I also think of 7. When I think of 2, I also think of 8.
Oh,
When I see 5,
so
I
you're,
also see
you're thinking
5.
of the
When I
this,
see 4, I see 6.
this plus another number will equal 10, and how it equals 10. Okay.
I'm the same way, but twofold. And you know about my weird 18 thing.
Yeah.
It's the same way, but like, that's a separate conversation. But I do the same thing. All the ways it's like, how can it relate to 10? Because that is a really easy way to like knowing how to do quick math.
Yeah.
Like if you can always know like 3, 7 just in the back of your mind because you said 3, that's the closest relation to 10. Then like when someone asks you, what is this minus this, it's way easier to do it. Yeah.
That sounds really useful. I do not think that way.
Really?
I actually don't visualize numbers in my head when I'm talking about numbers like 1, 7, 23, whatever. I don't actually have like the number pop up in my head. I don't have blocks and everything like that. I honestly just think of it as a sign language. number, and it kind of helps.
Like counting fingers?
Not counting fingers as in sign language numbers. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Okay.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
So you think
16,
of the
17,
hand motion associated with
I
it?
can do some of the hand motion. Like, so when I'm counting for like people to do reps and sets for workouts, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
Because I can talk and my brain can still do this and I can talk to someone. But I've never thought about numbers. And I also don't refer it back to 10. So if I do a 3, I don't do a 7. My brain doesn't work that way, which is really weird. And that explains why you guys can do quick math way faster than I can.
I just like use base 10s whenever I'm like, so when we play D&D, for instance, like I'm always like counting to 10s and then
That's how I
counting
do
those
it.
10s because it just makes it really easy. So when I see a 5, I match it up with a 5 and like adding up all the dice and stuff.
Sometimes
But, like,
I do that, but other times I just go 5, 7, 12, 15, 19, 21, 23. Like I just...
But also, so the other thing is when I'm like associating numbers, like how they work into 10. So we're talking about visualizing it.
Yeah.
I visualize the 3 and 7 coming together and forming, like they join together. And then it makes 10. And 4 and 6, they just fit together so easily. 2 and 8 fit together so easily. 1 and 9 just fit together so easily. So like it's both it's the numbers themselves, like in my mind, like I don't know if it translates well, but like visual, like
they're morphing
Mental
to create.
they morph together perfectly and they just fit together like puzzle pieces in my mind. The actual shapes of them, and then it adds up to 10.
I mean, I guess the interesting thing, from what people were saying online too, the interesting thing about this question is you just find out weird, interesting things about people's brains, like the way they work and the work with numbers. So
I know that like if we're talking about numbers right now as we're conversating, I don't think about
Conversating?
I don't think about how the shape of 3 looks or the
Yeah.
shape of 4 or shape of 5 kind of a thing. But if I want to remember something, I have to think about the shape of the object, shape of a 5, and then I can remember the 5.
weird.
But if I
So, go ahead.
like a phone number, so like if you say 503, it's an area code. It's an area code. That's all we know. His phone number is actually, but I can remember 503, and I can remember that better than if
Yeah.
I just say 503 and don't have an association shape.
Which for most people, like visual association helps them remember things.
Yeah,
So that makes
but-
sense.
But I don't know how. Do you guys visually associate shapes as you're thinking of the 3 and the 7?
I don't. So,
So-
I think the question is just asking like let's pretend that we're counting to 100 real quick.
Okay.
Like in your head, if you close your eyes and start counting to 100, do you see numbers? Like, are you a person that visualizes things in your brain? Like when I say imagine an elephant, can you see an elephant?
Yes, I can see the elephant
Okay.
because I chose to see the elephant.
Yeah. So you're already not one of the people. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
good to
that-
clarify that none of us are people
That are
incapable of
mentally
visualizing.
blind.
I mean, I don't know if I am or not because I don't feel like I actually see it in my
Well,
head.
it is a spectrum. So like you can have
Yeah.
like a certain amount of like fuzziness.
I
to
wish
it.
I was more incredible, honestly. Like when we talk about this all the time with D&D. Like some of our players in D&D, Lexi and Matt, like they are known for being the ones that like if you say imagine an elephant, I can't see it in my head. But like
They know what an
think-
elephant is, and they could describe to you what an elephant is, but it's not based on anything that they're imagining.
Yeah.
It's based on them already knowing the characteristics of it.
But
I don't know. It's strange.
That's strange.
so you don't visualize. So do you, when you like close your eyes and start counting to 100, do you see the numbers? Because the question is pointless if not.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I sometimes I do. Sometimes
So how do they appear? Do they appear as a block? Do they appear as a line that you're counting through a line? Like me, it's like 1 and it disappears. 2, 3, 4. Not my hand, but like the numbers appear.
Yeah, I mean that goes on. Like
Okay.
basically it's just like numbers flashing through. And then once you get to like 10s and 20s and 30s, then it's like you have the number, the base gets
Yeah.
set off to the side, and then the other one and then it changes to the next one.
So
and
like old school clocks where they have like
basically that's
Levi is
kind
from
of
a different time.
but
cool.
like but
very
instead of them
analog.
being
Very
like
analog.
sitting there next to each other, like once I hit it's with 20 because base 10 you're like doing 12, 14, whatever. But once you get to like 21 and 22 and stuff, like the 2 goes off to the side. I'm not even like
Associating the two.
associating that it's 20 something.
Until-
I'm just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then all of a sudden 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
is
6, 7,
cool.
8, 9. 5.
Yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
I don't. But like when you're saying those numbers, like I do see them in my head real quick. Like when he was saying 1, 7, 11 or whatever, like I was seeing.
No,
those
yeah,
real
I
quick.
see the numbers.
Yeah,
Like
interesting.
I am now that I'm thinking about it, but normally no.
Yeah, I don't know if normally I do or not, but I'm pretty sure. Like when I try, but that was the hypothetical. I thought it was what really. I mean, the question like people on Reddit were like, "Oh, I asked all my friends this, and apparently my friend does this," and like he was the block one, and then someone else was like. Somebody just has a line of numbers like scrolling past their eyes going upward 1, 2, 3
That's
4.
weird.
Like I mean that's very interesting. So there's probably somebody out there, you know, with a wild one. So you as the listener or the viewer, like if you're on YouTube, leave us a comment, let us know, do you have some like the cool thing about finding stuff out like this is you find out like, oh, I thought that's what everyone did. Like, because that was what the guy said with the block one. He's like, I thought everybody saw a block of 100. And, you know, and it's like, no, dude.
No, dude, that's just funny.
I think most people just don't see
because
anything.
like all that I see with like the block of 100 is just like the multiplication tables from
Yeah.
like elementary school. And I'm like,
That's what my brain did, but it's also color spectrum. So like green to red and the shades of color across
So,
it.
yeah,
because I'm going back to elementary school where it's like
Yeah,
100, and you have like the gradient of
Oh,
like twos
wow.
are the same color, fives are
yeah.
the same color.
So
I'm like, oh my goodness.
I see that too, like as it goes down.
I deeply want to know why my brain does the 18 thing, though. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast.
so weird.
But like, to just quick related to this, I guess, this is with words. Like with words, I'm usually pretty quick to tell you how many letters. It's not perfect, right? Like people test me sometimes and I'm like, but I can pretty quickly usually be like, that's this many letters, that's this many letters. Because when I was young, for some reason, and I feel like I remember the first time it happened, or at least I remember when I noticed that I was just passively doing this. We were driving down road in Kaiser on the way to church, and there was a sign just on this. I don't remember what the sign said, but there was a sign, and I remember like reading it, counting the number of letters, and then going, well, that doesn't count. It has the space in between the letters count as a character as well. So I counted the spaces, but I was like, but punctuation doesn't count. I don't know why. That's what my brain decided. And then I totaled it up and I was like, oh, that's 18. Oh, that's really pleasing. And then I just started finding that a lot of common phrases total 18 characters if you count them that way, like the letters, the spaces in between, and not because most of the time when on a sign, like it won't have punctuation anyway.
Yeah.
And so like if you count it that way, a lot of times there are a lot of them that equal 18 characters. And I was like, that's very pleasing. And then I started seeing words and being like, how can I change that phrase to make it 18 characters?
That's weird.
And then I know it's weird. Yeah. And then
So-
it just helped. And so now I can usually pretty quickly be like, there's a lot of words I just have in my brain memorized. I know exactly how many letters they are, just like, so it's really quick. And then also I can count them usually pretty quick.
How in handy has that come in?
Almost never. But I mean, there was a time where it was, I mean, maybe tangentially kind of like handy, but where like someone was, I need to know how many letters are in this thing once, maybe twice. I can remember once. I feel like it happened twice. I know it's happened twice. There's once it happened with Perry, like while we were dating or something. But once at our graduation, preparing for our graduation, Hannah asked, like, we had a verse that we needed to paint, and she wanted to make sure it would be, like aesthetically pleasing, and like based on how many characters it was. Or essentially, she was like, well, I need to know how many characters in this whole verse, but like I can't find a computer program just to plug it in and tell me, like, and
I don't want to count it.
And I can't count it. And it was like a fairly long enough verse, and I was like,
Superpower unlocked.
this is my moment. And she's like, we would have to like type it out. So someone started typing it out, and I just sat there and was like, I think you and maybe Maddie or someone was like, Jerry, do the thing. And I was like,
no,
okay.
I half remember this. Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So I just started going through it in my head, and then I was like, I'm pretty sure it's like 113 characters, which also doing that required doing a lot of mental math too. Because then it's like this letter, this, this, and this, and this. And now the fastest way to do it is.
But you're like doing blocks of 18, right?
No.
No?
It just helped in the sense that I was counting the characters.
That you're-
and I was like,
that
do
you're
you
just
want
in the habit
punctuation?
of-
Do you not want punctuation? And so I just counted first the number of words, stashed that number in the back of my head, then counted the number of letters in each word, added that all together. Then if you know how many words are in it, you know how many characters.
How many spaces you have?
It's just one less.
Yeah.
If it's 10 words, it's nine space characters.
Yeah.
And so you just count the number of words, count the number of letters in each word, add the letters to each word together, then take the number of words minus 1, add that number on top of it. Boom, you've finished the equation that my brain created. And so I did it, and I think it was like, I think there's like 134 characters. And then they're like, yep. But yeah, I've for a long time never told anybody about it because I was like, I had the self-awareness to be like, this is not something I'm going to assume everyone does.
This is not normal.
And then I was like, man, but is this something that could ever matter? Like I even at one point, like when I was like 12 or something, I was like, how can I take this and make it a job? I never came up with anything, but I'm not a math savant either. Like I reached a cap at one point where I was like, I can't do math about like probability stuff. I really suck at. Like I took that probability class.
Statistics.
Yeah, twice I gave up the second time.
Hold on. Statistics isn't math though. It's theory of math.
It's terrible is what it is.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb.
It's stupid. But it matters. But like even at one point, like calculus, I was like, yeah, this is too much for me too. And I don't think I'll ever need it for life. And so I was not really bummed about it.
You don't need
really
differential equations?
I don't even know what they are.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, I've heard it. How many people listening still remember what a differential equation is? Like, I remember when we learned about it, and I passed that class with a B, but it was hard. Yeah, so that's the weird thing. It just came from for whatever reason, my brain being like the phrase, because I love you, 18 characters. That's one that's really easy. Like, it's always there. And I knew
That's
that
cool.
for a long time.
Yeah,
I know really quick combinations, like 4 words, then it needs to be 15 letters. Like I remember, so like if I can quickly, so like because is 7, 1 for I, love is 4, 3 you, because I love you, 15, 4 words, 18 characters. There can't be punctuation though. But the reason for that too is like, because the punctuation could be different. Well, it's always gonna be 1, I guess. But you could have quotation marks.
So does double spacing irk you? Like double spacing?
Probably as much as anybody. Like if you see something doubles, well, nobody ever that's not what double spacing is.
Double.
Like when somebody hits the spacebar twice?
No. Yeah.
Double spacebar at the end of the sentence.
Yeah, at the end of a sentence.
When would you ever do that?
That's what you used to do when
you had to do it
when
for
they didn't have the punctuation. They do on the typewriters.
Yeah,
they didn't
you would
have
have to do
punctuation, so they would double
double
space.
Well, then,
no,
because I've never seen it because we don't use typewriters anymore.
No. But then it became a thing with certain forms of
writing,
like Word documents. You would have to use double space.
Yeah, I've never noticed that.
So
okay. So
I mean, like when I accidentally am like, oh, those 2 words are farther apart than the rest because I accidentally put 2 spaces between them. Like, yeah, that works. But that's as much as I imagine it works anybody.
When my computer actually takes it, if you do a double space, it puts a period in.
Yeah, I mean, like my phone does
that's
that.
what it does now.
Yeah,
and that's
your
what
computer's Apple, right?
My computer's Apple.
Yeah, all iPhones, Apple stuff, they all do that. It's very nice. I'm sure Android phones probably do that too.
Probably in a setting somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, sorry. That was a whole
that was
numbers
a
conversation. All of you listening will know now just how crazy I am. But it's kind of fun. It's like certain types of games, mind games, like those things are nice. But no, we need to do something.
Yep.
There's something really serious. And I already talked to these 2 guys about it. So I've talked to them, but I need to say something to all of you listening and watching. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to apologize to you because I made a mistake and I failed. Last week I failed one of you. I failed a UTI. And one of our biggest UTIs. I let you down.
Our biggest UTI.
Well, he claims to be. I can't say that.
He's the biggest UTI I've ever seen in my life.
But self-proclaimed one of our biggest UTIs. I let you down, and I'm sorry, Jacob. But I'm sorry to all UTIs because this is representative of all of you. I let one of you down. I let all of you down. Right? And so I hope you can forgive me when I say I showed off some wedding photos in our last episode, and we're going to fix this right now. We're going to bring it up. I failed to provide one of them. And the one I failed to provide is one of our biggest UTIs. So what we're going to show you on the screen right now is I just hope that this is reparations for my actions. So if you zoom in, you'll see Jacob and I in our photo. And I was like, all right, Jacob, what do you want to do for your pose? And he just started tickling me. And I look like I'm in so much pain.
It looks
You
like
do.
He looks like he's like
He's
taking out
trying
your
to
heart.
Kali-ma you.
Yeah.
But like, he's missing.
It's very funny.
Well, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So he's trying
no.
to Kali-ma you.
but then the next one, you'll see, I no longer look like I'm in pain.
But you're just looking him dead in the eyes,
Yeah.
just like, why?
And then the next one, I start to get him back. But
He looks so happy.
I don't know why I didn't grab these ones. Like, I don't know why. I must have just forgotten while I was going through all of them, because I know I looked at them while I was getting all the pictures for last week's episode. But there you go. There's your apology. I want you to know, Jacob, I love you dearly. I'm very sorry that I forgot you. And I know that's hard
forgot
to
you
hear,
existed.
but I want to be honest with you. I just forgot somehow to download those photos when I downloaded all of them. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Shib.
There we go.
I look really concerned. But yeah, so you know what? There's your moment in the limelight. You deserve it. There's yours. This episode is yours.
It's
Because
all
you're the only one.
yours.
Is it all his?
No. This segment was all yours, though.
Yeah.
Because the next segment is about someone who will want it to be all about them.
Correct.
But yeah, that fixes that there. I apologize. And I've gotten that apology out of the way. And so now I'm not sorry anymore. That's how it works on YouTube, right?
Yeah, that is how it works.
Within the same video.
And
If
now
you
you
bring-
can go back to forgetting about him.
Yeah.
Forever.
If you bring a dog into the shot, people forgive you easier.
Oh, no. Now you have to plug yourself.
Oh, yeah. So follow me on stuff. Like and subscribe. If you like apology videos, woo, yeah, ooh, ooh, yeah, ooh.
The little bell comes.
Bing, 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 in your face. Thank you to Shibley for bringing. He brings his dog every week and being willing to lift a pretty heavy dog for his size over
my head.
And by the way, that's our shop dog buddy.
That's the shop dog, buddy.
Shop dog.
Viejito. I love that he was just staring into the camera.
Yeah, that was better. We did a test shot before, and it was hilarious because like legs were up in the air, but this one it was just like
He was
staring
just-
into the camera,
yeah.
like "Help me, please." That was good. But Levi said a dog is required, so
Yeah.
Or
you
you will
have to have
forgive
an
me.
animal. Or else, like, how can we, like...
Truly forgive you.
yeah, I don't deserve it unless
Yeah.
I'm holding an animal. It has to be a dog.
It makes you more empathetic. Or
So-
us more empathetic towards you.
We've
All right.
already had a long episode of talking about numbers.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about the next thing here we've got on the show doc. There's a video I saw recently, and I wanted to show you guys and see if we could get a reaction from you guys, and obviously share this with the viewers. So we're going to pull that up right now. That just like a little preamble to it, I suppose. This is something I've seen quite a few Christian YouTubers talk about, and so sure, we'll talk about it. But also, it's just like, it's in my mind equally funny because of who it is, as well as a little bit like, maybe there's something there to discuss. So we'll just kind of watch this. If you want to start talking about it, like, don't wait till the end. Just like jump in and we can pause the video and we
Wait
can
until the
chit-chat.
end. Got it.
No,
Understood.
I also think we should do that for YouTube copyright stuff. Don't wait till
Stare blankly at the TV and go,
I'm proud to be partnering with my very good friend Lee Greenwood. Who doesn't love his song "God Bless the USA" in connection with promoting the "God Bless the USA" Bible?
I, for the record, I don't love that song.
what?
Every time it comes on, I'm like, oh my goodness, here we go again.
I
Does
mean,
that make me a
Is it
sinner?
is
No.
it because of?
Why would it make you a sinner?
I don't think it makes you a sinner, but is that because of the ballpark?
Some people are going to be offended. Probably.
I mean, I'm
because
sure.
like there's a lot of things that happened at the ballpark that I'm just like, ugh.
Because it's God loves the USA, or God bless the USA, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying? Yeah, it's the that one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
land that No,
It's
I
not?
don't think
It's
that's
not
the
that
right
one?
song
Wait.
that he's talking about. I'm pretty sure he's talking about
which one is
It's
he
a
talking
different
about?
song. Oh yeah, because that's God Bless America.
Yeah,
There's a
not
song called
God
God
Bless
Bless
USA.
the USA.
Oh,
American.
my God.
Even worse.
Oh, this is the song.
Where at least I know I'm free. That one?
Dude,
No way.
Dude, I hate so back in elementary, I made another version of that song. I can't remember all the lyrics to it, but
This
it was just
tea is
bad.
so bad.
And then I forgot the actual lyrics. So when we went up there to do because we did a whole choir thing in front of everybody during elementary school, and I couldn't remember the actual lyrics. So I was just humming along, looking around, and I'm like, I don't remember the actual lyrics. I remember the fake lyrics that I made up, but I don't remember the real ones.
Okay, if it's the I'm Proud to Be American, I thought that was just called I'm Proud to Be an American. Then I'd rather listen to God Bless America, which is not bad. It's just I've heard it so many times.
I've heard it from the ballpark every single
But what
game.
I've heard even more is this the God.
Yeah.
Or it's I'm Proud to Be American. Yeah, because we used to, all three of us at one point used to work at a local baseball stadium, and there would be fireworks every Friday night home game, and they would play that during the fireworks. I'm pretty sure, at the very least, it was every 4th of July one, but all the games during the 4th of July, they do it every night. But yeah, you just hear that song a lot, and that might be why I don't like it. But I don't know why. Every time I hear it, I'm like, oh man. And I love my country.
So, but that's the thing. That's weird. That there were songs that were constantly played, like that one, for instance.
Sweet
But
Caroline.
also Sweet Carolina.
which I still love.
I love that
No.
because
Oh,
it's
no.
pure nostalgia.
No.
And because it's got a bop, and when it's Sweet Caroline, bop, 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 and you can do whatever you want. You can
That actually, that song actually is. That song is actually more gross to me than any of the other songs that we
Yeah.
sang at the ballpark.
That song is very
Like
divisive.
I mean, I'm not going to listen to the entire
it's not
thing.
bad.
But am I going to stop it when it's about to once it starts doing the whole thing? Touching
You're gonna
you,
jump in.
touching me, da, 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 sweet. Yeah,
If you want to listen to it, that's fine. I don't mind it, but I go back to the ballpark and I'm like,
I never choose to listen to
And then I'm like,
No, I would
I'm
never choose to listen to
never
it.
choosing to listen
Oh,
to
yeah.
it.
But
ever.
if it's on,
when it plays,
I'm gonna have fun
you will sing and have fun.
because
Do you not?
I refuse to because I'm in protest against. I'm not in protest against the song. I'm in protest against remembering about the ballpark or remembering certain things about the ballpark.
That's a bummer.
So there was so much misery associated with the ballpark.
Oh my
but
goodness. Okay.
we're getting way off topic now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
even more so, I loved there were so many
yeah.
good memories.
There are good memories.
outweighed it.
There's a ton of good memories.
My immediate association with the ballpark in my head is just good nostalgia. I
Oh,
miss
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But if I think about it,
But
there's
if
a
you
lot
think about
the
it, there's
job that was-
way more that's
and it's,
terrible.
for different reason for each of us, but for you, obviously, hot kitchen,
Dude,
that was
hot-
a really hot kitchen.
That was a really
hot kitchen, very hot kitchen, hottest kitchen.
illegally hot kitchen.
We were both.
Well, careful.
Were we both in the kitchen at the same time?
No, he
No.
took
Yes.
over.
No, I
there
I
was
was
a training
assistant to-
period.
He was. I think he was assistant to me for
you're
when
right.
I was head.
So there was that year where it was
So I was-
Byron, you're running the upstairs kitchen, and then Levi comes in to help, and then Byron,
And then-
you're gonna help me run everything. Levi,
Levi's
kitchen's
takes the
yours,
kitchen.
and that was 4 years of that.
Yeah.
Because I was your position initial.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another fly. Freaking number
Byron
6.
slaughtered.
I've killed 5 of
killed
these
5
flies.
horse flies.
five
so
flies.
mad.
There were corpses all over the studio.
And these aren't regular
So,
flies.
all right.
They're
Anyway,
The
sorry.
video.
Yeah.
Back to the
Let's go
video.
back to the video.
Yeah.
and
I
let's
just
get
wanted
through
to
something.
comment on our former presidents here,
yeah.
where he says, "What does he say? Nobody hates the song, or everybody lives." I'm the guy that doesn't. So go ahead.
Okay.
This Bible is the King James Version and also includes our founding father documents. Yes, the Constitution.
Okay.
Wait,
Which-
what?
Whoa, 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 whoa,
whoa. Hold on,
As
hold
the
on.
Constitution?
They added the Constitution to the Bible.
Yeah. You want to play that part again? You want to just go back 10 seconds?
Can we?
I got a way better reaction out of this than I thought we would. So you guys hadn't heard about this, at all.
dude.
No clue.
This Bible is the King James Version
No
and
one's
also
surprised.
includes our founding father documents. Yes, the Constitution, which I'm fighting for every single day very hard.
What?
Keep Americans protected. Also, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Pledge of Allegiance are all part of this.
Okay. Pause.
Okay,
Hold on.
pause
Stop.
that.
Stop.
Why?
Okay, he is adding man-written documentation to the Bible. Now
He's adding to the Bible.
I'm
But-
not anti-KGV, but We have a KJV Bible that we are now adding documentation to.
Yeah.
What have they taken away from the KJV Bible that doesn't align with what Trump wants to have?
Oh,
If
presumably nothing. But
Okay.
Presumably, he's not taken away.
But we are adding to the Word of God.
Yeah. I mean,
So
the greater question here is,
I have to give him benefit of the doubt that he's
Yeah.
not saying this is now part of the Bible.
yeah, I don't.
It has to be that he's like, all right, here's the Bible, and something else that's incredibly important to me, the Bill of Rights and Constitution. But it's just so strange.
And Pledge of Allegiance.
And
That one I
Pledge
find
of
interesting.
Allegiance.
I understand because those other two are documents, but the Pledge of Allegiance
But like
is an interesting
the Pledge
one.
of Allegiance.
So there's a lot of avenues we can take this for conversation. One, maybe we break it up as we watch the video, I guess. One is so we know we aren't to add to Scripture, right?
Yes. Yep.
Does that therefore mean you can't have things that aren't Scripture between the same covers of Scripture? You know what I mean? The
We
front
have-
and back cover.
we have
commentaries,
Commentaries.
That's true.
We
That's true.
have
maps,
yeah,
note
we have
pages.
We have maps. We have dictionaries in the back of some Bibles.
And sure, are there probably small groups that have said like that's wrong? I'm sure there are. But I've never heard that be like a widespread.
Like one of my first Bibles, I still have it to this day. My Bible Man Bible. It has comic books.
Yeah.
Within the Bible, it has like
Not comic book iterations of Bible stories.
No,
like some have.
it's
Bible Man comic.
it's Bible
pages.
Man comic books.
I had that same
like
Bible.
placed like 10. There's like 7 between 7 and 10. I can't remember the exact amount, but throughout
more
the
than I
Bible.
remember.
And each one has the storyline from one of the episodes or movies.
It's literally just still images from one of the Bible Man movies put onto comic panels.
Yeah, and then but it's like super like shortened version of the story, and then at the end it has like these are the verses that were talked about, and like this is how it can be applied.
So like, is that wrong? Because what I'll spoiler alert, I have seen a separate video where somebody reviewed this Bible. What it is apparently not super high quality fake leather. And then the bottom of it, it's got like an American flag print on the front. And then it's just KJV Bible all the way through. And then at the end, inserted with a different type of material paper, like a thicker cardstock, kind of like glossy. Yeah. In the end, the last like 10 pages are the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Pledge of Allegiance, and then some like Statue of Liberty themed lined notebook paper.
All right.
Okay. So is the action of putting things that are not Scripture in between the same binding wrong?
So my understanding was, and my thought process was, is that he put that before Genesis. Like,
would that then make it wrong because it's before Genesis?
Because I felt like that was the plug in the understanding of what I just saw.
Yeah.
For the 32 seconds that we've seen so far
of this 3-minute video.
of this 3-minute video that we're gonna have to talk about now. He had Bill of Rights or Constitution, Bill of Rights, Pledge of Allegiance, Genesis 1. That's what I thought he was doing, and he was going to be putting American man-written words and our Constitution before biblical Scripture.
Like, I certainly think it could be argued that he would be like that's an example of that if he put them in the first whatever pages. So I can tell you, it is in the end.
If it's in the end, okay.
Like maps would be usually.
Like maps would be. I understand.
Also, aesthetically wise, that would be weirder too.
That would be
like
super
I would be also likewise disappointed, but it would look weird if like you open your Bible and the first one is the Constitution, or if the first one was a map or whatever. It makes sense to put it in the end.
Yeah.
It makes way more sense, and you would get a lot less hate to have it at the end. But still, like, I just find it strange.
Yeah. Let's just keep watching.
Let's keep going.
keep
Let's
going.
see what else.
USA Bible, and it's just very important and very important to me. I want to have a lot of people have it. You have to have it for your heart, for your soul.
Okay, I
Many
want
of you
that.
have
I want
never
that
read
as a
them and
soundbite
don't-
for us to have. I want have it. You have to have it for your heart, for your soul. I already downloaded the audio for this video. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I already am gonna get that soundbite so that our producer can have a little boop. You have to have it. You have to have it for your heart, for your soul. I think it's so funny.
Why? I don't get that.
Wait, can you go back just like
Is
10
he
seconds?
talking
What is
about
he
the
saying that you
Bible?
have to have?
Yeah,
I think he's saying the Bible.
Go back to 30 seconds.
Yeah, right there. That's good.
Yeah.
I think
God bless the USA Bible, and it's just very important and very important to me.
this Bible.
I want to have a
think it's
lot
the
of
Bible,
people have it. You have to have it for your heart, for your soul.
Okay.
I think
So
the
yeah,
Bible.
He's
yeah.
I hope that he's talking about the Bible. In that.
He's referencing this Bible specifically. I don't think he's saying the Constitution you have to have it for your heart and your soul. He's just saying this Bible, you have to have it. I want you to have it for your heart, for your soul.
But then doesn't he go into like I've defended it and I've fought for it? Or no, he said that previously.
For the Constitution. He
For
says
the Constitution.
when he
Yeah,
said
okay.
the Constitution's
Yeah.
here, he's like,
Yeah.
and I'm fighting for that every day
Yeah.
for you.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Many of you have never read them and don't know the liberties and rights you have as Americans and how you are being
Definitely wasn't talking about the
threatened
Bible.
So he was
to lose
talking about
those
it.
rights. It's happening all the time. It's a
Collectively.
very sad thing that's going on in our country, but we're going to get it turned around. Religion and Christianity are the biggest things missing from this country, and I truly believe that we need to bring them back, and we have to bring them back fast. I think it's
Okay,
one of the
so
biggest problems.
not wrong. Like
I can agree with
no.
that.
as from a Christian perspective, what would be from a Christian's perspective, what should we believe is the thing that is missing in America right now? Well, what we should believe is missing in the world right now.
Yeah.
More people should believe in the powerful work, that in God's existence and the powerful work and truth of the gospel, right?
Yep.
So he's not wrong, like,
No.
but maybe motives here are something we could talk about.
There's some motives behind it though.
Yeah.
We have. That's why our country is going haywire. We've
Probably.
lost religion in our country.
100%.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many.
True.
Many.
It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book.
That's
This
good.
Bible is a reminder that the biggest thing we have to bring back America and to make America great again is our religion. Religion is so important. It's so missing, but it's going to come back, and it's going to come back strong, just like our country is going to come back
Okay,
strong.
so
in the end,
would our country be better off if it was more biblically founded and more people were believers?
Absolutely.
Infinitely, yeah, 100%. Like, oh, that's a great still to stop on. Looks like a donkey. So, is donkey Republican or Democrat?
That's Democrat.
It is. Yeah, D, donkey.
Yeah.
Republican, relevant.
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 The I think it was James Adams that said like America, like if it goes secular, it cannot survive because it was found because of the founding of it and the
Yeah,
purpose
like
of it.
that America that was founded can't survive. It would become
Yeah.
something else.
What
right?
they
Yeah.
created cannot survive.
And it's
in
a
secular.
ridiculous argument when you hear people say like America wasn't founded on Judeo-Christian values or like which he's
It
about to say.
literally was,
Of course it was. Like you just don't want it to be anymore when you say that. Like now, we'll talk maybe a little bit about the nationalist Christian like mixing thing, but the idea that that it's baked into the basis of America is ridiculous. I mean, the Bible is very clear on the fact that people have innate value because of the fact that they are created individually by a creator, right? And so this idea that people have, what is it, unalienable, it's a correct word, right? Unalienable rights, right?
Yeah.
Like this idea that you have God-given rights as a human being, that no government, no individual can argue or should be able to argue, and so we should protect those. Like those are things that we should seek to do as believers. And so, yeah, it's crazy to think. I think that just people that hate God or hate Christianity don't want to say that, right? Because it makes it sound like it's a good thing that out of Christianity maybe came a good thing, or something that they do want to aspire to be again as an American or whatever. They don't want to associate it with Christianity. So I'm not saying that's right, but I understand why they do that. But it is, even if you don't like what America is today or was then, I think fine, fight for that, fight against it, argue against it. But I just don't like when people just are going to be like, well, it wasn't. It's like, dude, it's in there. Like God's name is so clearly put on so many things. Like it's
God-given rights.
Yeah, God-given rights. Like, I just think, or so clearly listed in God we trust. It's just kind of lame. It's poor argument for sure. To just throw that out, but it's also probably comes from people's idea, their idea of what Christianity actually is. They're like, because when people have in their idea in their head, this is Christianity, and then you say well, out of Christianity came the fundamentals of America, then they're like, well, those two things can't go together because Christians are oppressive racists who, or sexists who this and that. Yeah. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
Oh, I mean, It was along the same lines.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
No, I just think let's keep talking because we're gonna leave that picture up of him. That's just so great. Just kidding. Let's just go on. I guess. Like,
we do not answer to bureaucrats in Washington. We answer to God in heaven. Christians are under siege. We must protect content that is pro-God. We love God, and we have to protect anything that is pro-God. We must defend God in the public square and not allow the media or the left-wing groups to silence, censor, or discriminate against us. We have to bring Christianity back into our lives and back into what will be again a great nation. Our founding fathers did a tremendous thing when they built America on Judeo-Christian values. Now that foundation is under attack, perhaps as never before. What can we do? Stand up, speak out, and pray that God will bless America again.
sure.
I'm proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible.
Well.
We must make America pray again. Educated, motivated, and
I mean, I like, we should do all those things by buying this Bible.
Yeah, which he doesn't explicitly say.
It's
but
getting
it's
close.
a product endorsement.
I
and
mean,
so
it's
the
all
implication-
product endorsement, which but I find it so strange.
Is it
that-
wrong to sell Bibles? Number one.
No.
No, of course not. Is it wrong for Donald Trump to endorse a specific Bible?
No.
I'm especially being earnest. No.
I wonder about the earnesty though of
Yeah.
Donald Trump and his Christian beliefs, because part of me wonders, did he say, oh, I'm a Christian, and he does things that are Christian based for a ticket to the White House kind of a thing to pull the Christian vote?
Yeah, so that was
Or is he more of like, I actually do believe this is actually what I do believe, this is what I preach.
Well, the proof should
he's
be in his
walking-
actions, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know.
Were you going to say something, Levi?
Oh, I was just going to say, because he had been a Democrat for all of his life until he reached a point where I saw it in one of the interviews that he's like, they said that I couldn't do anything. Like I wanted to endorse these things or run for things, and they said that I couldn't, so I switched to Republican. And then I don't know how earnest he is in what he does and the actions that he takes.
I think he is a diehard Republican. I don't think that he's just saying I'm Republican because it's how I can win and be in power.
Yeah, I feel like he's changed in.
I think
that,
political
and,
parties, he has actually mental, because back then when he was, that was like in 90s and early 2000s, when there was a much more of a gray area politically, right, between the two parties. There was some clear, definitive things, but also it was like you could be someone
and also
who believed in fundamental rights, essentially.
And anyone that was on that side is now Republican.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like these people that believed in a lot of based, to use the meme word kind of stuff, that were still like social, like the idea was a social democrat, right?
Yeah.
They're like policy wise, like they had these pretty based opinions, but like socially they had like these democratic things and stuff. So it's like whatever. So they were Democrats, but you look back on them and it's a bummer, I think, when some commentators say things like, well, he used to be a Democrat, but then he switched Republican, so he must not really be earnest about what he is. It's like, just because the label then, can we not also observe whether or not the labels, what the things are that the labels are of, have those things changed? Therefore, can people not change their opinions and their associations with labels and stuff? I'm not saying that's what you were doing. I just hear a lot of times, one of their things people will say about him or even others, whether Democrat or Republican, they're just like, well, when it became power-wise expedient, they just switch names. It's like, okay, sometimes people might do that. We should point that out. Did he do that? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that that's some of the
commentary
that he did.
Some
he
people
did switch.
He did switch, yeah.
And I don't know all the ins and outs of everything. I mean, I don't follow politics as
I used to follow
incredible.
it way closer. I don't anymore. My opinion, I don't think he switched it just because he's like, this is the way I can get elected. I think he believes a lot of the things he says about like these things are being robbed of people if you vote for Biden.
And he also has talked about how he thinks that the left has changed,
and it has
incredibly, which it has.
Yeah,
and
they've both changed a little bit, but they've both just become more like they've just both separated more to their sides, right?
Yeah.
I think the left more so than the right has separated away. Like it's.
I mean, the left
walked from
keeps changing the goal.
It has to, right? To follow its dogma, like
which
it has
it's
to.
So
keep,
stupid.
Oh, it gets ridiculous.
But the problem with that is then people on the right want to walk even more. It's like this idea, like biblically, we've talked about this within denominations. Like, are we Catholic? No. Do we believe that as Protestants, like there are issues with some of the Catholic doctrine? I mean, yes. And if you're Catholic and listening to it, I love you, but we have disagreements. Now, that's the way I think we should handle it. We certainly have disagreements. Let's talk about what we agree on. I think there are a lot of Catholics that like by name are Catholic, and we agree a lot on the fundamental stuff, and I think that's great. And then there are some that we don't, and then I would have a greater issue with that. Just like with Protestants, dude. There's a lot of Protestants where I'm like, dude, wait, what? You don't believe in this very fundamental part of the gospel? It's like, so just because people have these labels, but what I was going to say is there's a similar phenomenon that's happening politically, also denominational. You have these people that are like, oh my goodness, this entirely unimportant thing has a whiff of Catholicism in it. Therefore, I must run from it, right? Like the idea of Ash Wednesday. Like we've talked about this with Ash Wednesday. It's like, oh my goodness, Catholics do that, and I'm a Protestant. I must run 900 miles the other direction. It's like, no. Like, is Ash Wednesday wrong? No. Like the fundamental idea of it is absolutely not wrong. Are you doing it because I believe when I walk up there and I get these ashes put on my forehead, this is part of the ritual that saves me? Now it's wrong. Mm-hmm. Do you recognize absolutely that you are saved by grace and only by the work of Christ are you saved, and therefore you want to remember the things that he has done? You want to remember this, and therefore you just take part in something that is tradition in order to like
in
foster in memory, in remembrance, for the same purpose of like communion. And communion must be done. These other things can be done, right? That's an important distinction. Like we are commanded to do communion, but in the example that communion is set, it's not wrong to do things so that you remember things. And so likewise, politically, like you have such a similar phenomenon where it's like people go, oh my goodness, that's got a whiff of leftism, and so we have these two parties now running from anything, and it's like, dude, it's just a bummer.
And harder one pulls one way, the other team's going to pull the other way.
100%. And there's always going to be a side that pulls harder. And so the sad thing is, if that's true, like if right pulls and therefore
left counter pulls, left's going to counter pull more.
We know that left pulls harder. Yeah.
And then right's going to have to pull even harder.
And then it just becomes this like
tug of war.
Yeah. So, now we're just talking about,
it's just, I just find politics gross.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yep.
Here's a great thing. I think we agree on this. We don't so the more and more I hope in our life that we love God and want to serve him and put him first, the less and less we should care. The less and less I'm finding myself caring about keeping up with things like this. Because it just takes up my mental energy and it causes me to worry and things like that. However, I still am someone that does believe we should be informed, because I am I believe as a believer, you should vote. You should take part in whatever you can to make change in the area around you, right? Because we should be doing good things. We should be living by the truth of the gospel. We should be putting that into the way that we live our lives. And I think that there's absolutely a case biblically to be made that it is not wrong to take part in political votes. We saw Paul exercise his rights as a Roman citizen, right? Therefore, taking part in worldly government, right? And then even Jesus saying give to Caesar what is Caesar's, right? It's not this idea that because you're a believer, you have to be outside the system entirely. The problem is when the system is being associated with your faith, right? Because then, what happens when the system starts to fail you? Maybe you associated these two things to this. It starts to be this thing that crumbles too, or And so the sad thing here is what I mentioned earlier. This starts to kind of get into this idea of something that I don't like in our country right now, which is the very close association with Christianity and right-wing ideals, or like right-side politics. Sure, do they line up more? Yeah, I would agree. Yes, I would certainly say yes. Like abortion, I don't believe is biblical. Well, on the greater side of things, people on the right agree with that. But I don't like marrying them. And so the reason I don't love this is it does feel like
he's forcefully putting Christianity. If you're a Christian, you have to be right. If you're right, you have to be a Christian. Kind of a thing?
Kind of, which I would also not love. I think that if you are a believer, it's hard to defend like any actions or like any ideas of like to actually defend them on the left, but it's certainly hard to defend things on the right too. And that's the important thing to remember as a believer is like, what am I first? Am I a believer? Yes. Does that mean I have to be voting for Republicans? Dude, absolutely not. I do think nowadays with the state of America, like it's going to be harder to justify as a believer.
It's much harder to
the
justify the left side, but like in the past, like you can definitely
certainly
like
you could have fallen on either side. Certainly, like
but like I don't know, because it also just makes it so that like okay, so I can't like in good conscience vote for the people to be in power that have all of these views. So then I have to vote the other way.
But that'll never work in our system now.
I mean, yeah, but like that also means that now it's like choosing the lesser of two evils.
Right. You know? Which is like a whole other, like as a Christian, do we ever...
And it just feels...
Is that ever right?
Wrong.
Yeah. No, I think it's like... Yeah, it's just a bummer. I mean, I don't like Trump. I mean, I don't like a lot of the things he's done, and I don't think... Dude, like basically every politician ever will just say that they're a Christian to help them get into office so that they can, they'll be like, here's all the things I love. And so the people that agree with them will vote for them, blah, blah, blah. But then they're also like, and God bless America. And then they're like, either like, that's all they ever say. Like we see with, you know,
like Biden's,
Kamala and Biden, like there's a lot of that, like quick little, oh, and I'm a Catholic or whatever, like just to kind of, so that they can also make sure that like the people,
they're not turning away that part of
because there's people in their base that would be like, man, I like everything they say, but I don't think they said they're Catholic. I'm good. Like that's all they need. And so they know they keep those in. But so would I love to see a candidate who agrees with me politically and is also like really outspoken believer? Dude.
Yes.
Absolutely. And like really solid Christian guy and wants to fix America and like wants it to be a leading nation in the world. And if it's a leading nation in the world, hopefully the rest of the world sees an example of like Christian leadership. Dude, I would love that. But I want it to be real, and it's really hard to ever know when it's real.
Yeah, because like with Trump, it's also rough because he's kind of just like, I don't want to put this in like a horrible way. Like I know that he's an individual and that he is his own person, right? But he's just kind of like a caricature.
Yeah.
Like what we see, I feel, is not like it may well be 100% genuinely him, but I feel like he's just always like
on a bit
in character, like doing a bit.
Yeah.
Like to a certain extent, but like
I mean, it's sometimes seems like Trump's doing a Trump impression.
Yeah.
like this video specific, when I first watched it, I thought it was one of those AI Trump videos. I was like, this is not real.
Yeah. But like it's not like the caricature that's like made of him by like a lot of the like the far left like
anti-Trump,
calling him all these like terrible things. I'm not trying to call him all those terrible things, but it's just harder to like feel genuine when he has so much character that he's built himself to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so like the thing with this is it's hard to know. Here, maybe let's finish the video real quick and then, because I don't know if we're sitting on.
Stand with me and the legions of Americans asking God to bless our great nation, to bring our great nation back, and to make America great again. I'm proud to partner with Lee in this offering. He's a very special man, both as a talent, but maybe even more so as a human being. He's very, very special.
Human being.
And I think you all should get a copy of God Bless the USA Bible now and help spread our Christian values with others. There you have it. Let's make America pray again.
we're good.
God bless you, and God bless the USA.
So I think that just having a regular Bible would be less.
I paid off
$475
in debt.
Kill it.
You can just kill it.
All right.
I hope this guy's not on screen because he looks like Michael Jackson. Is he going to be on screen for us the rest of the recording?
I guess.
Okay.
All right.
He is.
So I just feel like it's like if he's wanting to spread Christian values,
Yeah.
that it's better to like not associate it with like political parties.
Certainly.
Because Christ goes beyond politics. Like he's like, because it's all about fundamentally God desires a personal relationship with you.
Yeah.
The creator of the universe wants to have a personal relationship with you. He's created the path that you can come into communion with him as long as you do really simple things. And then it's all about building that relationship and trust with God, with how you live your life. And like, I think that that's so much more important than saying like, all right, here's the Bible and here's the Constitution of the United States, and let's spread Christianity.
Yeah, I would rather like a based political, like let's say there's a world where a candidate put up a video like that or whatever, like endorsing a Bible, right? I'd rather it be like, hey, like they have consistent good moral character, right? They're making good political decisions and like putting forward good things that they're doing, good actions, and then also say, I want everyone to know that I'm a believer, and that's why I do these things. Read your Bible. Read your Bible. Have a Bible in your home. Read it. Have a personal relationship with the God who created you. Believe in the gospel. And that's why I'm trying to do the best things for this country that I believe glorify God, right? So this other, multiverse version of that where I would have been like, love it.
Yeah.
That's what it would have been. Instead, right? And even if the person was like, you can get here's the Jerry Crane commentary Bible. Even if that was it, it's just like, he goes like, this is the one I use. And because I found this to be very rewarding and edifying to my spiritual life with these commentaries in it. If you are curious about which Bible I like to read, best
And
would
it has
be where
the
you don't do
Jerry
any
Crane
of that.
memoirs in the back.
It has my manifesto.
Yeah.
No, like, I would, if I was running or whatever, I would maybe, I would still though, I would not do it at all. Like I wouldn't put my name on any of it because I don't want that association. Like I want God to be first. And I think that's what I would love to see in a candidate is if they're going to do some sort of endorsement, just be like, oh, you guys want to know what Bible I use and has been very edifying to me. Like we've done here before. Like here's a book that I found to be very edifying. Like let's share it with you, but better is just like read your Bible. Like I would love if you said that. But in this case, the Bible also is $60, which has been a huge is a Bible being $60 a problem? I don't think so.
No, but with the quality that you described, though,
it's apparently like mid, like it's like fine quality.
So like I went to look for a new hardback Bible.
Yeah,
and they're $60, $50, $60, $70.
If you want
a leather bound
if
Bible,
you want a nice Bible, like it is that much.
So I'm like, sounds about the right ballpark, but I don't know.
But also from what I've heard of the quality,
quality.
There's just a guy I found on YouTube that like talks about Bibles a lot, and he's like, I got this one. He's like, it's fine. Is it a 60? He's like, is it a $75 Bible? Is it what I would say is, oh, this is a for the price, like quality? He's like, no. Is it 60? Also, honestly, no. It's somewhere probably in like the 40 range because it's not like it's just not this really, really nice made, Yeah. But he's charging 60 because I bet you like if he made anything, he's like, I know I can charge a little bit more because like this is me endorsing it.
Yeah.
So, but at least it's not like it's terrible quality. Like, little history though. Originally, they were going to make it NIV. I think that's funny because when I first watched this, I was like, oh, of course it's KJV. KJV.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of Trump supporters that are like the super Trumpists, the ones that like it's like, are they putting Trump above Jesus? Like, you don't know. They're probably also like, and if you don't read the KJV, you're not saved. Now, I'm probably making a huge generalization. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to vilify anybody out there. I'm just saying like, it just feels like maybe, so I thought that was what I was like, oh my goodness, that's so funny.
But he went away from NIV.
But
Why?
But literally, it humbled me because I was watching that video about it, and the guy was like, originally it was going to be NIV, and I was like, oh, I guess I made a huge generalization in my head, and I should apologize to those people. So I'm sorry.
Why did they make the change? Do you know?
Because and I think like the copyright or whatever, like where you would buy the copyright from, they didn't want to be associated with it or something.
Oh, okay.
Like there's copyright out there for
yeah.
Bible translations, and they didn't want the association. It was also going to be a different company, a specific Bible printing company. I can't remember the name of it. It starts with an H, I think. That they were working with, and then there was so much backlash from people. Excuse me. That company was like, we don't want the association, and so I think with that also went the NIV. So then now. In the front of the Bible, there's not like a full-on. Most Bibles have a full page dedicated to copyright. There's just this tiny little thing at the bottom that just says like printing copyright, and then and it's KJV. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. That kind of humbled me because I was making this generalization in my head, and then I was like, "Oops, nope, sorry." But yeah, I just don't like that. I don't know if Trump is. It is actually like a, like I don't really think any of his words really do a lot of that mixing of politics and Christianity too much. No. But this is just something that could reaffirm that idea in people's heads.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Just the comment that we couldn't decipher to 100% clarity whether he was regarding the Constitution and the Bill of Rights as giving you that spiritual
good for your heart, good for your soul,
good for your soul, or whether that was just having the Bible itself.
Like whoever wrote the script for him to read, I think should have made more clear distinction because right now it's a gray area that kind of plays to both sides and plays against both sides.
Yeah,
like so, it's a bummer. But the other things he said though, like you should all have a Bible. You should defend Christian values. Like if we want to fix our country, but dude, if we want to fix the world, you know, so
yeah, I don't think that it's,
So is this one of those things that, you know, is this how we would want it done? Is this how I think Christ would want it done? I don't know. I don't really think so.
Probably not.
But like we've talked about before, does that mean that God can't use it? No.
No, he's used much worse things for much better.
Yep.
So I think in the wake of this, it does us as much good, you know, to like get fired up about like, dude, you know, you're really missing the mark here. Like to get super fired up about it. It does us very little good. It does us more good to just be like, you know what? Like this is what's wrong with it. But here's the things he said that we can agree with, and let's just pray that God uses this for the betterment of people.
Could there be a patriot out there that doesn't own a Bible, but is like, oh, that has a constitution in it. Oh, I'm all for it. And then
a patriot. Oh, a patriot.
Yeah.
I just missed. I was halfway zoning out. I thought you said pay. 2 words. Pay tree.
Oh yeah.
What in the world is a pay tree?
He's gonna patriot.
Patriot. Oh.
3 words. Pay tree. It.
Yeah. He's gonna patriot.
Pay a tree for what?
For it.
Yeah. But that was that. So I'm glad that you guys had such a visceral reaction right at the beginning. Like, what?
It's just crazy to me.
It is a little.
Like we're commanded not to add anything to the Bible. I don't think he's intending to add something to the Bible, but he is.
Yeah.
Like just having that closeness association with having
the
Constitution, Bill of Rights, and
Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah.
Within the same like walls of the Bible, it
feels icky.
It feels icky.
It feels
and
icky.
Would I buy that and have it? Probably not.
No.
Would I like if that was the Bible on hand? Use it 100%.
Or if I saw a Christian with that Bible, would I would I
think
them?
No.
Absolutely
Worse of them? No.
Now, if a Christian was
would
always
I
like,
ask them? Maybe. Would I ask
starter.
them if like they find it as it? Would I ask them if they see it as important as everything else? Like and try to have a meaningful discussion about that? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's like what I was gonna say is like if you see that in their life.
But am I condemning them for possessing that now? Like,
no, like if you started coming to church regularly, you're always wearing a Trump shirt, you're always like talking about politics. It's just this thing that's clearly become kind of an idol to you. And then I also see like the Trump Bible. I'd be like, okay, so then it's like this is an example of this whole issue with you right now. This like that it's like God came to save America. Like, everybody knows some people that are kind of like that, right? And it's just like
America came to save the world with the power of God.
Yeah.
Oh. So then we're going back to Crusades.
The American Crusade.
Yeah.
Well,
they had oil in the Middle East. I'm sure that the Crusaders were like
all about it. Dude. It's like rabbit hole. Like we've talked about this recently, Levi. Like someone brought this up, and so we kind of talked about this. Like the American flag on the front of a church.
Yeah.
Right? Like
having an American flag draped over your church.
Yeah. And we know, because I was talking to somebody about like churches and their association with the LGBT community, right? And I was saying like, well, this church, like I would not want to endorse them or support them, right? Because they've got the trans LGBT thing like draping off their church building. It's decorated everywhere. Like their pastors like says like he's bisexual and like all this stuff, right? Now, can churches work with the LGBT community, right? Trying to reach them specifically. Like, dude, please, like more churches should probably have specific ministries to try and reach those people, welcome them into their building, try and preach the gospel to them, right? But should you be saying like, that it's not sinful, like that's not a sinful way to live, and like making excuses for those actions? No, like you shouldn't for any sin.
You don't want to affirm the sin in others.
Right. Yeah. And so like,
but you do need to reach the people in sin.
Sometimes those flags on the front of a church is an indicator of that. But above and beyond that, it can be applied, I think, to putting flags like draped across your church, like in general, like an American flag too. I would be uncomfortable with that. Because in my head, it's like, dude, like
Are
it
we
just feels
associating America greater than God?
Kind of, yeah. Like it feels like the whole, I don't know, maybe the graven image thing a little bit. I don't know, like maybe not. It's like it's just the building, but
like having like as you were saying, like having God here and America here, like having like America here.
That's certainly an issue. Anything
is still really an issue. It has to be God because you don't want to have like a house where you're like, oh, I pray to God. I also pray to these other little guys, but only for specific issues.
Which gets me to something that I talked to Jude about not that long ago, but it's like, dude, the Pledge of Allegiance. As a Christian, dude, how do you feel about that?
Oh,
I'm pledging your allegiance to a flag, to a country, like not from the perspective of like, like I've done it my whole life, but I've started considering it lately. Like
that's interesting.
It's an interesting thought. Like,
whoa,
I feel like,
what does it mean to pledge your allegiance?
Yeah, but like it has to be that like
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
What is to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God.
Important key phrase there. Like he's saying the nation that we're pledging our allegiance to.
Which they were trying to remove that from the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes. Yeah, they were. So I know if that was removed, if there was no element, because I want to make sure, is it saying that the nation, as far as hierarchy, the nation is under God, or is it saying, well, no matter what, that's what it means, right?
Yes,
it's led by God,
yes,
right?
led by God.
So then if that's taken out, dude, like I would absolutely have a problem saying a pledge of allegiance to any country, thing, like organization, right? Like if that's not in it.
Because I feel like with having the under God, then the moment that America becomes against God or like trying to be over God, then it's no longer the allegiance that you pledge to. Like it's like if you what?
Keep going.
Oh, I'm like that allegiance no longer stands because you're changing what you align to.
Right.
Because like if like if you pledged like, oh, I'm 100% for this person, and then they like became somebody entirely antithetical to who they were, does that allegiance to them still stand because you pledged
Let
to
your yes be yes and your no be no. Should you pledge any oaths at all? Pledge,
Oh, yeah.
swear no oaths
Yeah.
by earth or by heaven.
Yeah. That's the
Dude,
yeah.
I don't know.
It is grimy.
It feels icky to me. I don't know how to deal with it. And I'm really glad since I've been thinking about this that I haven't been in a social situation where the Pledge of Allegiance has happened.
Yeah, because I haven't said the Pledge of Allegiance since like high school.
Well, baseball games.
Middle school. No, they don't say
I
Pledge
wasn't
of Allegiance.
saying
They do.
Oh, they didn't do Pledge of Allegiance. It was the just like stand with your
National
hand.
anthem. Yeah.
National anthem. I get those two mixed up. Yeah, Pledge of Allegiance. I can't remember the last time. Some churches do it before every service.
That's weird. What?
Well, I don't know if that's true. I was just
Wait,
joking.
is that
but
true?
I don't know. Maybe I was just
Whoa.
joking.
Okay.
Because we were talking about churches with like
Yeah,
flags draped, 100-foot
So like
flags.
that's the thing where it's like I don't think that having a American flag in your church is like the worst thing in the world. Like I
It's
don't
never bothered me, but
like I don't think it's an issue.
I don't think it's an issue to have an American flag in your church.
But like if you're saying the Pledge of Allegiance
That's a little weird.
to America and then you're like, all right, here's the sermon. That'd be far.
Remember back in elementary school when we did Pledge of Allegiance, we also did the
Christian flag.
Christian
one.
flag and the
wow,
Bible.
no, we didn't. There's a Bible one?
Yeah.
I don't
There's
remember
the, there's the
Bible one.
Christian flag one, the Christian pledge
Yeah.
or whatever, and I don't remember what it is.
I
I
do not
remember the
remember it.
lamp before your feet and
A light before my path.
something like that.
Yeah.
And then like I pledge allegiance to the Bible for God's holy word. That's all I remember right.
Yeah.
I don't remember
There's-
a Bible one. I
there's-
remember
there's a Bible
specifically
to
having.
the Father, praise to the Son, praise to the Spirit.
That's a song.
I think that's
Praise
just a song.
All three in one. No, okay.
That's definitely a song. That's good. It's good.
No,
Pretty
I
close.
remember at the high school retreats, praise to the Father.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
do it
That's
before every meal.
Well, there's
I always
the
like that.
there's that and the what is it called?
Yeah.
The doxology.
The doxology.
Doxology.
I loved
Doxology.
before every meal. Like, so every year we'd go to at William Valley Christian School, we'd go to a high school retreat at this place called the Christian Renewal Center. And if it's like a camp and they have staff there, they serve you. It's a Christian place though. So if you want food, like at the beginning, everybody sits together and everyone in unison, they're like ding 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 ding. Praise to the Father, praise to the Son, and it just goes on. And it's just that one little. And then praise to the Spirit, all
And
praise to the three in one, and that's it, right?
And,
No,
well,
there's-
and then
there's
there's
more
the
verses.
doxology.
No, there's
Yeah.
more verses. Like
Yeah.
there was the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
cue cards on the
That's
on
right.
the table. So
How does the rest of it go?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Dude, for the life of me, my mind has entirely blanked because we do the doxology every time that we have a family get together.
We do doxology as our family.
Every single time
Yeah.
before we eat.
Oh,
we,
yeah.
Really?
Because
That's
so our great aunts had a trio. They created
The
like
doxology?
we've talked
No, that'd be
But
great.
we've talked about it before, but they had records that they labels and they toured the country like
Whoa.
as a trio of
Singers.
sisters.
and they were really good. But then the family got so big. Like this is the extended family. Family got too big for one person to pray.
Because
and for
when one
everyone to
person
hear.
would pray, no one else on the outside.
Yeah, that's right.
would
Because
hear.
you guys have
So
a lot of-
instead,
It would get
they would
really
like
big.
yell out, "Hey, we're gonna
We're
do
gonna pray."
this,"
And then
one of the aunts would start it,
And
and
then
then everyone joins in.
yeah,
and then earthquake.
kind of like
Well,
You
dude,
just have
if you
thousands
if you
of cousins.
stand beside certain people, they do the bass.
and you know
And you can
know what you
feel
do. You know what you're supposed to do because like if you're the bass person, doesn't matter where you're in the room, you're always hitting bass. And then they have the tenors and the sopranos and all the different levels, and it's so cool. But then you get next to like Levi and no, hold on. This is not a diss. Hold on. You get next to Levi, you get next to a couple of the other guys, and they're all doing bass,
Okay.
and you're like this. I feel vibrating right now. This
Yeah.
is weird.
Oh, okay.
And then all of a sudden,
Dude, I thought that
the
he was like,
build-up is
everybo's doing their
awesome,
separate
awesome.
things.
But then
And
you're next to
then
Levi.
if you stand
Levi.
next to Levi,
You're
No.
bleeding out of your ears.
that's standing next to me. But then if you stand next to ants, it's all like much higher.
yeah.
octaves, and
But
you're like,
it is
this
funny because
great.
some people just like they don't have any capacity to sing. Like most people are fine with it. But if you don't know the song, if you've
Yeah.
never been to one of these things,
Oh my gosh, that's so freaky when the
It's-
first time because you'll see the like or the boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah,
come
yeah.
in,
And then
they're like, oh yeah,
they're
we're
just like deer in the headlights.
not even told that we're singing. It's like this. Okay, we're gonna pray, and then all of a sudden the song starts and everyone's on
if you
key.
lead up to it by saying we're gonna pray, and then everyone starts singing in unison,
And
I'd
they're
be
like-
like, what?
It's so
it's so
pretty
good.
funny.
But yeah,
When was the last time you guys were at one of those events?
Easter.
Nice.
Where? Or we?
Go for it. I mean, we're at like an hour and 15 minutes or something on this episode. So,
Oh, should I just save the cool one? Do
you wanna say
it? I could just introduce it.
introduce the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll do it on the next episode. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or I don't.
Yeah. Talk about what you like. What happened?
So
and-
at the last Easter thing, we had a bunch of the Anson people come out, and it was really cool. Like talking to a bunch of them. One of them though that isn't around very often came and she brought this really cool book, and it's the front page like collection.
And it's a KJV Bible with the Constitution.
No.
No, it's a KJV Bible with
It's
news.
yeah, it's collections of the headline page for the Los Angeles Times from 1881 to 1989. Like it has a bunch of historical ones, and just like when there's nothing like historical that happens, it's just a random headline from like every couple months. And there's some really interesting like side like little stories.
Yeah.
Because like everyone knows, oh, there's peace in Europe, and like
Boring.
the Hindenburg crashes,
Oh, get
and
over it.
like the atomic bomb drops, or we
happen.
caught like a ring of I don't know, mobsters, right?
They don't wear rings.
They do. But
Probably.
anyway, but the really cool thing about it is that when it's not a super like, oh, this is like
Earth shattering.
we went to war, or like this is the end of the war, or this is who the new president is. You get little, like they have to fill the page. So you get little things, little headlines that they thought were like, ooh, this could be eye-catching. And there are some bangers in there.
Just some interesting ones.
There's some really interesting ones.
So the idea you've pitched is like a regular segment,
Yeah.
right?
So I can do a quick one.
Sure.
Where,
Just flip to a page.
Yeah. Okay, I don't remember what page it was, but
Ooh, I saw astronauts.
like and
Oh, somebody got married.
yeah, people got married. Like all out war open on
Like-
gangs. All out war open on gangs.
On gays?
gangs.
I was like, this is like the 60s.
Like there's like a manhunt and everything. But there are some really cool ones. I can't remember what the page of it is right now.
Well, that's good that we're saving
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Cool.
So we can
Because
we
you
can
were
come back.
you're
to
like,
this.
yeah, we wanted
Yeah,
to. I want to read a specific one to you and Byron, and so what would be fun and what was kind of pitched by producer and Levi.
Yeah.
Maybe a regular segment, maybe not every episode, but every other episode or something. It could be
Yeah.
a semi-regular segment, a la. I should stop using that phrase. Kind of like.
I love that phrase, and
yeah.
I feel like it's
every time I
just
say it, it feels weird.
yeah, it
So,
just feels awkward.
kind of like the On Route with Jude that we obviously won't have anymore. I think that's a great idea. Something that was brought up by the producer is once we start doing this, like maybe some people throw some random dates.
Yeah, if you've got like a favorite month and year between 1881 and 1989, then
throw it in the comments. We'll try and find something interesting
and
on
I
that
can
page.
find something as close as I can and something interesting from it.
Or just as Levi goes through it.
Yeah.
Was this given to you then?
So yeah. So she brought it, and like me and one of my cousins start looking through it, and there are just some wild stories in it, and it's also just crazy because of what's included.
Yeah.
In each of the segments, like there's like a big like dam explosion in one of them. And you get to see like the entire list of everyone known to be dead,
Whoa.
all the missing people, all the people that are injured, and it's all front page things. And I find it strange. I feel like nowadays they don't release all of the information, or if they do, you have to search for it.
Yeah.
But in this, it's front page of the newspaper. These are all the people that were caught in that explosion.
Yeah.
And it's
No,
just
that'd be
like
interesting.
And some of the things that they include in stories are very funny, or when they find out like medical things, they'll include it in certain stories. So there's some funny things.
That would be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So then, yeah, since this has been a long episode, we had planned on doing it. We'll just save it for the next one then.
Yeah.
Is that okay? All right, cool. I think it's worth just real quick revisiting the whole, Trump thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Not saying I don't think that there's anything wrong if you did vote for the guy. We're not trying to be like to tell you how to vote. We don't really want to do that on this podcast. No. I think it's okay, to be for him, against him, whatever. What's most important is like, also not saying as a Christian you have to vote. Like if you feel convicted.
If you feel convicted that you shouldn't vote,
then doing it would be a sin.
Then we're told that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you feel convicted in it, then don't.
We know some people who I have no question whether they're believers or not, and they say because they're believers or that they're a believer, like they don't feel like they should vote. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand. Like maybe we can have a conversation about why or whatever. And would it be wrong if they changed their mind? No, but I think it would be wrong of me to be like, you condemning them for a conviction, right?
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Because the Bible doesn't say you have to vote.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It just says that you should live your life for the glory of God, right?
Yeah. And it also says like render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's, in that like if like it's not follow the laws as long as it doesn't go against God's law.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree.
That's the basis of it.
Does it mean like should we follow the law?
It doesn't go directly against God's law to vote and like try to make changes.
Yeah. But if someone started saying like it's against, if they decided it was against the law to practice, corporate prayer and things like that, well, sorry, break the law.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, does the Bible tell us to do those things? Yes, it does. It tells us to get together. It tells us to worship together. It tells us to, well, am I allowed to have just said on a podcast, break the law? I don't think. I wasn't called to violence. I don't know.
It's a call.
I'm not telling you
call to action.
I'm not. Yeah, it's called action. I'm not telling you break the law. Let me just real quick say that. I'm not telling you to just straight out break the law. What I am telling you to do is nothing. I'm not telling you to do anything. What I am saying is what I will do and I want to do, and I hope that believers hold me accountable to this, is to try to live my life first for God. I want to do that.
It's a great way to
hold me accountable to that, guys.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks.
We got you.
Don't just go out and break the law, and certainly don't say I told you to do it, because I want you to right now. I'm telling you right now. Don't commit crimes.
Nope.
Don't do that. Don't break the law.
Crime is bad.
Don't break the law. Crime is bad. Be a good boy.
Take a bite out of crime.
Or girl. Take a bite out of crime. Man, I don't know if if I just made a huge mistake or not. I think we're probably fine.
Let's end it there.
Yeah. No, my whole point was going back to it was just to say, like, whether you do or do not take part in voting or whatever, is not wrong.
No.
With stuff like this, I think it's good to just wrap it up by saying, live first and foremost for God, and make sure you're doing that. Like if you bought this Bible, we're not condemning you. If you think the Bible is great or whatever, okay, that's fine. We're not even, I think we tried to clarify, like it's not wrong to put things that aren't scripture in between the same binding, because people put maps. He had a Bible, Bible. I don't think that's wrong. I don't think that counts as adding to scripture.
Follow the convictions of the Holy Spirit.
Exactly. Yeah. And so if you feel convicted about it, then don't buy the Bible. Even if you're like, man, I'm a really big Trump supporter, so I feel like I should support him. And then he released this Bible, but I feel convicted about it. So what do I do? It's like, if you feel convicted,
stay the convictions.
Yeah, but just be prayerful in considering you're making decisions. So like everything else, same thing with this. But I just thought it was interesting because I've seen a lot of Christian YouTubers just blow up on this, be like, this is blasphemy. This is heresy. This is horrible. And it's like, whoa, maybe that's for a little bit of clickbait. Do I think it was a good decision? I don't. But like, do I think that we just have to?
I mean, it's not going like Jesus goes up and starts doing the Sermon on the Mount, and then all of a sudden it has the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
And Jesus started.
Oh, you mean like it's printed that in Matthew or whatever?
Yeah.
Jesus went up on the mountain
he starts to speak, and then all of a sudden,
I pledge allegiance.
To the flag.
Yeah, that would be adding to scripture, right?
Yeah.
Or if it said somewhere in there that Jesus came to America, or if it said that an angel met an American named Joseph. Sorry, just kidding. Don't add to scripture, guys.
Yeah.
Because if you do, it's not God's word.
Yeah, it's it's
Don't add or take away from God's word.
Yep.
And don't believe people that say that you should.
Cool.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for being here.
we love you very
We
much.
love you so much.
Roll the outro.
That's a good one.